the wise old owl, or a harbinger of death. Hated by other birds, feared by rodents, and often loved by people. The lives of owls are secretive and mysterious. But when they face the challenges of raising a family, we have the rare chance to watch them in action. Owl families around the world as they raise the next generation of night hunters. Spooky sounds in the forest. Creepy creatures of the night. There is no doubt that owls are mysterious, living in a twilight world we rarely visit. It's no wonder that they have always been surrounded in legend and superstition. Egyptians thought owls protected their spirits on the journey to the underworld, while Greeks used the owl to represent Athena, goddess of wisdom. But the Romans, Mayans, Aztecs, and many other cultures around the world see owls as something to fear, symbols of bad luck and impending doom. The reality is that owls are just birds that have carved out a niche, a unique way to live. Though united by big eyes and low-light hunting, there is no such thing as a standard owl. They range in size from smaller than a pigeon to eagle size. They have colonized all terrains, from Arctic tundra and dry, arid landscapes. To tropical rainforest. And everything in between. And they are not only active at night. Most hunt rodents. But frogs, other birds, and even fish can appear on their menu. When owls aren't making forests into scarier places, they're pretty inactive. Apart from the few months of summer when they work tirelessly to raise their young, they wait until conditions are just right. In spring, when the foliage is emerging to offer some cover, and their prey species are at their most abundant. Owls are good partners, pairing for breeding seasons or sometimes for life. And both will pull together to protect and provide for their young. They are pretty lazy homemakers, though. These great grey owls have taken over a large nest built by a hawk. Their home is the boreal forest of northern Scandinavia. Summers here are short, so the owls waste no time in family planning. Only the female spends a month sitting on the eggs. That might be why female owls are usually 25% heavier than their mates. Though she single-handedly does the sitting, the father brings her food. But once the chicks hatch, both parents will share the workload. Not all owl families get to enjoy the spacious platform. Most steal holes made by other animals, like woodpeckers, who share the northern forests. Owls don't have beaks tough enough to carve wood, but the woodpeckers do. With powerful neck muscles and a shock-absorbing skull, it chops away at dead trees to excavate ants and beetle grubs, propped up on the stiff feathers of its tail. In spring, the black woodpecker turns this same chiseling beak to housework, carving out a nesting chamber large enough to raise its young. The black woodpecker is the second largest species, rivaling most owls in size. A woodpecker's disused nest is perfect for the pygmy owl. These ready-made nurseries are not available to everyone. On the treeless open tundra, snowy owls don't get a nest at all. A rubbish home? Well, it is for this eagle owl chick. Across the globe, owls can make a go of it just about anywhere. Whatever their starting point, it's a battle from day one. And in any battle, there are winners and losers. Owls lay up to 14 eggs, but that's a lot of mouths to find food for. The eggs hatch a day or two apart, and already that means a big size difference in the chicks. Spring is well underway in the boreal forest. The great grey owls have 3 little ones. The difference in size is obvious from the start. Mum keeps them warm, Dad hunts. Like all owls, his feathers have a fluffy, velvet-like covering to make him silent in flight. Voles don't hear him coming. He's very successful and ferries meal after meal back to the nest. Dad's latest prize, a thrush chick, is handed over to Mum to serve. She offers it to the runt of the family. The little chick has some serious catching up to do. But he may not get the chance. Mum tries to help it down the hatch. But owl chicks are bullies. And its bigger nest mate takes a shine to the food. The parents won't intervene. It's a test. Survival of the fittest, right from the day they hatch. It's a brutal start in life. Especially if your home is exposed to the elements on the open tundra. Where the smallest of the snowy owl chicks is also suffering. In little more than a shallow scrape on the tundra, they wait for the parents to ferry in lemmings. These little tundra specialists breed in huge numbers in a good year, when the weather's kind and the tundra plants bloom. Lemmings redefine baby boomers. They can breed when they are just 1 month old and can keep churning out 6 to 8 babies every month. In a good year, that production line can go unbroken through all seasons. There are no trees or shrubs here. They must use cracks in the frozen ground to hide their young. As their numbers grow, so do the populations of the animals that eat them. But lemming numbers can also crash, perhaps because they consume too much and run out of food, or because there are too many predators. When they have a bad year, so do snowy owls. This year, food is in short supply. There's not enough to go around. The smallest chick is trampled in the rush. Weak from malnutrition, he has no fight left to stand his ground. It's hard to imagine what's going on in the mother's head. Is she trying to end his life and expel him from the nest? Or encourage her chick to get up and continue its fight? Either way, it's too late. Thanks to their adaptability, owls can make a living almost anywhere. And for this modern family, some urban eagle owls, city life pays well. Thanks to the mess generated by the human residents, rodents abound. They are prolific breeders, and without any population control, a single pair of rats can produce 2,000 offspring in a year. No homeowner wants a rat infestation. They'll have a go at gnawing through just about anything with powerful, self-sharpening, chisel-shaped teeth. They'll happily go on raiding missions to steal food. And as their population increases, so too does the amount of waste, urine, and droppings. They could represent a health hazard to people. But this city has a self-appointed pest control. Their headquarters is not in the most welcoming corner of town. A rat is risking an outing, but the graveyard shift is awake and watching. An eagle owl, a giant with a body the size of a cat and 2-meter wings. A big owl like this can stab with its talons, using the same amount of pressure as a human bite, making it an efficient killer. The two chicks wait patiently from their macabre perch. Rat à la carte. Only one chick gets the prize. But here in the dirty city, there is no shortage of food. A second rat is delivered. Both chicks here stand a good chance of survival. If they can hang in there. The owlets stand their best chances in life if they are raised while the going is good. Summer is a time of plenty. It's not just owls raising their young. Plants bloom. Insect numbers peak. Many small insect-eating birds plan families to cash in on the seasonal abundance. In the lush, green, deciduous forests of Europe, a clutch of little ones is keeping the coal-tit parents busy ferrying caterpillars to their nest. And the commotion draws attention. The Eurasian pygmy owl nests in woodpecker holes, but despite being the smallest owl in Europe, it's still a tight fit. With its clumsy exit, it's easy to underestimate its hunting prowess. There is some evidence that the color of an owl's eyes reveals its hunting strategy. Contrary to popular belief, owls are not only night hunters. The tit family is a tempting food resource. Especially now, as one of the parents is trying to lure its well-grown chicks from their nest. The pygmy owl's eyes are yellow, suggesting it is day active. They are among the most day active members of the family. But it waits until low light, when the tit's vision is limited, before it strikes. Though it's not much bigger than the little songbirds, it specializes in hunting them. An impatient chick pesters. Dad delivers the evening catch. But before she serves it, Mum removes the hard-to-digest feathers. So summer provides, but it can also come at a cost. The great grey owl's nest in cool, damp northern forests is a mecca for mosquitoes. And many households are disrupted by heavy rains. Repeated drenchings can lead to chicks getting too cold, or even flushing away their homes. It's especially dangerous for this Blakiston's fish owl. In the vast forests of Russia's far north, it's no stranger to bad weather. Being among the biggest owls on the planet, the fishing owls need whole, hollowed tree trunks to nest in. Soaked in the flooded cavity, the youngster needs to get some fresh air if he's to dry off. All owls are zygodactyl. 2 of their toes face forwards and 2 back. It means they can bring them together, almost like our opposable thumbs. And with needle-sharp claws, he can pin himself to the wood. If this youngster loses his grip, he'll be swept away by the rain-fueled torrent below. The Blakiston's fish owl is one of the rarest birds in the world. With less than 3,000 left, the survival of every individual counts. Eventually, the floodwaters subside. But the experience has opened the owlet's eyes to a bigger world. He's keen to stretch his wings. Sooner or later, this tricky stage of mastering the world beyond the walls will come to all owlets. Parent owls, who have worked hard and are exhausted, encourage them to fly the nest. The whining hawk owlet is very comfortable where he is, but Mum has a plan. She shows him a delicious, plump lemming. But then she takes it away. No response. She gives him a taster. It's too much to resist. Time to take the plunge. Not exactly a perfect entry into the world, but once he's out, there's no going back. Eventually, most young owls will find themselves on the ground, but their instincts are strong, and encouraged by their parents, they climb. He has a sister who follows his lead. Just because they have left the nest doesn't mean the parents are off duty. The demanding youngsters will expect to be fed for a few more weeks. Mum is still the one doing most of the feeding. Dad stands guard. Further north, the great grey owl chick has left the nest at an earlier stage. She's still downy, and her flight feathers short. She's less than a month old, only halfway to fledging. For the great grey, it's the male who does all of the hunting. His huge, dish-shaped face is like a satellite dish to collect the faintest sounds of prey. All owls have wonky ears. Hidden beneath the disc of feathers One ear canal is much higher than the other. It helps give directional hearing and enables the owl to carefully calculate the distance to strike. But there's a problem. The chick doesn't seem to want the offering. The seasons are short in northern forests. Time is of the essence, and skipping a meal is not an option. Dad tries again. But she's not his only customer. Mum is still on the nest. The younger chicks are not yet ready to leave home. This far north, near the Arctic Circle, the summer sun barely sets, fueling plant growth. This is a lush and productive habitat. There is so much food that, unlike most owl families, all of the chicks have made it so far, even the runt. But they are now entering another challenging stage. Until they're more able to fly and feed themselves, the parents will have to stay nearby to protect them and keep them well fed. And that means coaxing them to take every meal. She soon gets the hang of it and devours food as quickly as he can deliver it. Dad can't afford to go off duty. His big yellow eyes, like all owls, are long-sighted. His vision up close is poor, and so he relies on fine feathers around his face, the bird equivalent of whiskers, to feel his food. The other owlets are close behind, following their sister onto the branches. The most dangerous part of their development. Many other animals stalk these forests. Wolverines are giant members of the stoat and weasel family, and considered one of the toughest and most aggressive of all predators. With powerful shoulders and long claws, they can tear apart rotten trees, dig, and climb in search of food. And they'll eat just about anything. At this time of year, vulnerable young birds are a welcome part of their diet. Fortunately, the owlets are on branches too high and narrow to support the wolverine's weight. No longer protected by the nest, and without the ability to fly from danger, it's vital they keep tight hold of their perch. But they can't hang here forever. They need a rapid growth spurt, which means they need constant refueling. With their clan mobile, both parents have a non-stop slog to check in on each of them. Of course, armed with yet another food parcel. Rodents are bountiful in the forest, and the parents are able to keep up the supply. This is one owl family that's doing really well. Night falls in the mountains of Russia. Dark eyes in the dark night. Typical of nocturnal hunters, the Ural owl is on the prowl. With his eyes on unusual prey. It's frog's legs on the menu. Owls are not fussy. They make the most of whatever lives in their neighborhood. 90% of meals are voles, but the dish of the day can range from shrews to hares, prey as big as the birds themselves. With the rich diet, the chicks have reached 1 month old. Maybe this bouncy breakfast has given them an energy boost, because by dawn, they're testing their own legs. It's about time to leave home. It's the usual routine. Take a fall. And then pick yourself back up. And wait for food to find you. Mum and Dad will keep the meals coming for another 2 months. But the youngsters should be flying in less than a week. Bringing his tired parents one step closer to freedom. But there is still a big hurdle before they are off the hook. The youngsters must learn to hunt. Step 1, to watch the practical demonstration. The young fishing owl takes note as his father hunts in the stream below. It's really pretty simple. Watch carefully, and then stomp, talons first. The catch of the day is served. It's all inspiration to the fascinated chick. It's at night when their favorite frog prey is most likely to be out in the open. Night falls, and Dad's at it again. The youngster mimics his moves. The owls aren't the only hunters tonight. The chick is captivated by a raccoon dog, a shy forest cousin of the fox. Though the biggest of owls, and certainly capable of taking quite large mammals, the fishing owl lives up to its name and ignores the dog. Both are after the same prey, frogs and fish. The Blakiston's owls aren't just unusual for their eating habits, but the way they hunt too. spending more time on the ground than most owls, and approaching their prey on foot. Owls don't have ball-shaped eyeballs like us. Theirs are tubular. It greatly enhances their sight, but means they can't move their eyes much. Instead, they turn their whole heads. They can rotate through a full 270 degrees. We can only manage 90. The enhanced vision means the male can perfectly judge the distance to the trout. The weeks pass. The owlet is as big as his parents and stretches his wings, which are almost 2 meters across. It might take a while to master them, but it won't be long before he's ready for the next step in life. In the meantime, he preens his new feathers, and the baby down drifts away. Eventually, every owlet will have to take a leap of faith. Some get the hang of their wings faster than others. No matter how much coaxing they get from their parents, they are reluctant to take the plunge. By late summer, the forests are silent. Nests are empty. The air is no longer full of the screeches of begging chicks. For a few months, the adolescent owls hung around close to their parents' territory. But eventually, they begin to roam, looking for a patch to call home. Hopefully, somewhere with plenty of food. One of the urban eagle owl chicks has reached the suburbs. Roads often attract owls. Their surface, warmed by the sun, is a magnet for small animals. Insects use them to bask, and other animals come to hunt the insects. His hunting technique is still a work in progress. But through trial and error, he's managing to feed himself. It's just as well. Change is in the air. The temperature is dropping. And so are the leaves. Unlike many birds that migrate to escape the cold, owls tough it out. They need to build fat on their bodies and conserve their energy for these hard times. For chicks that have got this far, winter will be the ultimate test. For northern species like the young great grey owl, special skills are required. Rodents can move below the snow, out of sight. The owl's sensitive ears must listen out for the scurrying. And judging distance is harder now, because the owl needs to know how deep to dive into the snow. Fortunately, instincts run deep, and the young owl quickly becomes a master of his snowy world. The vole might be 100 meters away, but by tipping its head from side to side, moving its ears, it can triangulate on the source of the sound. Even under half a meter of snow, the vole is not safe. Silently, it drops from the trees. Talons first, and wings swept back, it falls, using its weight to push it deep into the snow. Amazingly, 60% of snow plunges are successful thanks to the bird's incredible ability to pinpoint sound. Only 24% of Blakiston's fishing owls reach maturity. The owlet is barely recognizable now. He weighs about the same as a domestic cat. He has survived this far, but is his hunting strong enough to get him through winter? Every catch is a triumph. Logging and loss of land to human settlements and agriculture, disruption of its river habitats through damming, and especially direct hunting have decimated the Blakiston's owl population. This youngster looks like promising new stock to help their numbers recover in the future. Human activities have a knock-on effect the world over. Forests are lost to development. All species of owls can lose their homes. They are also hit by cars, hunted and caught in fishing gear and traps. Every individual counts. There are more than 200 species of owl, and a third of them are endangered. But helping them will help us. Owls offer a cheap and easy pest control for farmers and our dirty cities. Each one can eat 1,000 rodents a year. Some can adapt to the urban wild, and others need big wild spaces. But with some help from us, they can continue to haunt the dark and magical corners of the world.